Well, this is the area that we invented the hovercraft and the Spitfire. It's also the area that we invented the anti-homelessness movement and the John Lewis partnership. So how can we renew that tradition of innovation again by using data and big data to learn more about, for example, the patterns of access to higher education, more about the way that health works, more about the way that all sorts of data, including geographical data, works, so that we can address the pressing social challenges of our time and set an example to the rest of the country.
It's like clean water and clean air. It makes good things happen. And we're after open innovation off the open data. That's what we're really after. When you open it up, bright minds, ambitious, audacious minds, startups will take it and do remarkable things with it. And you will get the value back as a company, as an organisation, as a nation.
There's a whole set of problems in central southern England that are quite distinct. We're not London, we're not one of the other English regions. We have big challenges about housing, but a very sensitive environment and lots of population growth. We have very low public spending, but lots of pressure on that. And although our average incomes are higher, so are our costs of housing and transport and social care and all the rest of it. So our policy centre is going to look at all of those issues. And tonight's all about one of the things we're going to do, and that's going to be a champion of open data. The idea that if we have open data on all of our public services and about our population, we can deliver better services in more effective ways.
Tell us about the keynote speaker here.
Liam Maxwell is the government's Chief Technology Officer, a professor in our local university as a visiting professor. He's taken 40-odd billion of costs out of government by using the IT systems in a more creative way, working with the Minister of State at the Cabinet Office. Liam's uniquely qualified because he's been a council cabinet member, he's worked for a major private sector company, and now he's been in business right at the heart of the business of government, seeing how IT, data and a refresh of information management can bring a new responsiveness.
We're here in the most connected area in the world, probably outside of South Korea, Silicon Valley and Hong Kong, is the south of England and London. We are very, very connected here. About 10% of our economy is internet based, and it's phenomenally important to the area's economy, but also it gives us a great opportunity to innovate and to lead. And I would like to congratulate John and Francis on the leadership that they're showing with the Policy Centre, because it's a great thing to be able to drive through the changes that we need to have for the future, and to do that on an area like this is really very, very good, and I congratulate you for that. And I also congratulate you for doing it in the place where I come from, but also where there is a great university which allows people to drive through change, which is Southampton. And I'm biased because I'm associated with Southampton, but it really is one of the things that we are proudest of in government, is the work that's done here. And that's Nigel and Wendy who have been doing that. It's a way of government becoming relevant again. Government for many years has been remote, difficult to identify what it is for you. For a generation who live their lives online, who are digitally native, if the government isn't digital, it's not relevant to a huge swathe of our citizens. And at some point that's going to be a problem. It might not be for 10, 15 years, but someone's going to turn around at some point and say, I pay all that money, and what do you do for me? That's coming. And if government isn't digitally relevant, that's going to come relatively quick.
It's fair to say that one councillor, upon receiving the invitation from a county other than Hampshire or outside our area, wrote back and said, it looks so boring, I can't be bothered to come. So there's a bit of an education process to go to get beyond the kind of the techie mafia and into a conversation where everybody recognises that, for example, this year is the first year that everyone that goes to university will have lived only with the internet in their lives. Now, that's a big step change, and that's a change in terms of how a 70-year-old councillor might need to make decisions in the future and what they're going to have to find interesting.